Video games foster the mindset that allows creativity to grow. Nolan Bushnell. Good morning, everybody. My name's Anthony Jones, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the positives and negatives effects of video games on kids. Personally, I believe that video games, it's a positive side for kids. I believe that a lot more kids should play video games, and parents should let their kids play the video games, let them enjoy their life, let them enjoy being young, because they've come out a lot of positives that I believe. And then also there's some negatives that I know that parents look into, that they just look at the negatives. They don't look at the positives. So today I'm going to be informing you, trying to persuade you guys to be on the positive side of the video games. So to start off, one of the first positives that I believe is it brings a motivational benefit. Playing video games, first I'll start off as stated by Peter Gary in his article. If you keep trying using various strategies, you will eventually succeed in meeting your goal within the game. So in many games, this goes for almost any game, like Super Mario Brothers, Mario Kart, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Madden, any story mode game, any games that you play with your friends. You start out, basic. You start out knowing nothing, not having anything in the game. And you just got to work your way up, which I believe is motivation to kids, because they have to work to get to where they want in the game. It's not just handed to them. So for instance, Call of Duty, you get the game, you're at rank 1, and you got to work your way up to rank 55, I believe. And you just keep working your way up. You get new attachments, you get new guns, you get all these sorts of stuff that helps you out in the game in the long run, which I believe impacts that motivational benefactor that video games bring. And then, Mario or Super Mario, you just gotta, take Peach. Bowser takes Peach, and you just gotta work, you just gotta keep grinding out those levels, grinding out the worlds to get to Peach. And then once you get to the end, it's just satisfying, you're like, wow, I took the time, I beat this game without any help, I did it by my own. It's just something that I feel like is really helpful and relieving, when you get to the end. And then another positives that I believe video games bring is it works on your hand-eye coordination. So if you guys play sports, or if you guys do anything that involves hand-eye coordination, and I think a lot of stuff in life, involves hand-eye coordination, you're driving. Every day you drive. If you can drive, you drive a car, and it involves hand-eye coordination. You got to be quick. You got to be able to look at all 3 mirrors. You got to look at the rear view mirrors. You got to look at the windshield. You just got to be on your head. You got to be on your A game to drive. You can't be looking at your phone. You can't be dozed off. You can't be doing anything, because driving, it takes a lot. And video games, it can take a lot. You're focusing on video game, and the controller. You got to be quick. So say you're playing Call of Duty, you have a headset on, you hear the footsteps, and the hand-eye coordination, you see the footsteps, you turn around, and you get the guy. You just got to be quick with your hands. Got to be quick with your hand and your eyes, and it just overall is a healthy benefactor that can go a long ways. And then another one that I didn't do research on, but I believe is, it helps with socializing. You can talk to your friends, like during quarantine. They can be playing video games with their friends, staying updated with their friends, and just, keeping in touch. They're not losing a beat, and it helps them get used to talking to people, and they're not just at home, just say they're a shy kid, they're not at home, not doing anything, not talking to anybody during this time. They have video games, and you can be shy and play video games, but you're still talking, It's just a different factor when you're playing video games. So now that I've talked about, some of the positives that video games can bring, why don't we go ahead to the negative side to give you guys a little taste of both medicines. So, So one of the main points I saw of negative of video games, there's multiple, but I saw shoulder pain, because you're sitting there, you can have bad posture. and you're just sitting there playing video games, and you don't pay attention to how you sit, you don't pay attention how your body is, because you're focusing on the game. So you have bad posture, you're like bent over playing a video game. And so I saw in this article stated by Caitlin, a 2018 study published in the Journal of Elbow and Shoulder Surgery found that playing video games for more than 3 hours per day was linked to shoulder pain in elite young male baseball players. And so to this quote, I found an article. Baseball players, they got to swing with their hand. They swing with their shoulders. They throw with their shoulders. So playing video games and being bad posture and being a baseball player, that's one of the negatives, if you play sports, playing video games, you can really mess up your body, and then you can hurt, like just how you sit. It can hurt your eyesight, because I know a lot of kids, they sit too close for the eyesight. They end up doing physical activity, so all they do is play video games, and then they get unhealthy. There's positives and negatives to everything in life, and you just got to outweigh the pros and cons to look at both sides. And you can sit there and just look at the negatives, or you can, look at the positives. Like, what is this bringing to my life that's different to everything else? And I think that video games, the positives with the hand-eye coordination, your social, your mental, just, it helps out in so much ways that a lot of kids nowadays, they might not be able to talk to anybody. They're scared to talk to people. They're just scared to do whatever. But video games, it can bring out a side of them that they didn't know they had, that they can talk to friends and just be themselves. Maybe this is the only time that they can be themselves on video games. And we shouldn't be taking that away from the kids. We should let them, if they like to play video games, let them play video games. If they're like really young, maybe, have a limit on them, so they don't end up growing up older and hurting their eyesight. So you just got to look at both sides. And if you're a parent, you just got to maybe put some restrictions, but not too much restrictions. So yeah, hopefully you guys can take something from this video today, from this speech, about some of the positives, some of the negatives, and you guys can kind of decide how you guys feel about video games, and maybe it can help your decision in the future. Thank you guys.